Welcome and hello. This is a video tutorial on HEC ResSim, and in this lesson, I'm going to be discussing utility scripting. What I have up on the screen here is a new watershed I just created. I called it Video 54, and I am in the simulation module. All right, scripting is a process of executing a prescribed set of actions in order to simplify user operations, abstract complexity, ensure repeatability and consistency of results, save time, and also schedule the execution of scripts in the future. Scripting has already appeared a few times in this playlist in the form of scripted release rules were lesson 46, and then state variables were lesson 45. What we're doing in this lesson 54 is utility scripting, which is scripting that occurs outside of the compute simulation, whereas those other two types of scripting occurred during the simulation. So utility scripting would be for other processes like pre-processing, post-processing of data, also setting up tables or plots. So there's lots of different things we can do with utility scripting. All right, enough talk. Let's get to it. What I want to go to is Tools menu and then Scripts. And also I'm going to talk about Script Editor. The module doesn't really matter because these two options are in the Tools menu for all three modules. But I'm going to stick with simulation because it just feels right. Okay, first thing is the scripts. So if I go Tools and then Scripts, what we get here is a small little empty box. And that's fine because I haven't created any scripts. But once scripts are created, we can assign them to appear in this box and they would appear as a button. And when that happens, we can open up the scripts box here, click the button to invoke the execution of that script. There's also a script menu here. So if you click script, we've got a few options. The first one is the script editor itself. Now clicking this script editor is the same thing as just going tools, script editor. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. There's the script editor, but we'll get back to that later in this lesson. All right, next is delete. So this is how you would delete a script. And then the next one down is add to panel. So what that refers to is if you have a script that's written and saved, then you can add the button down to the panel here on the simulation module. And that's one reason why I wanted to select the simulation module. The button would appear in the simulation tree, but below the compute button is what the user's manual says. Okay, the next item down here is schedule script job. So if you select that, we get a dialog box that asks us to fill out the information required to schedule a script job, which means to run the job in the future, as long as ResSim is up and running. So you give the job a name, you'd select the specific script. Your list of scripts would be in this drop down here. And then you'd also specify if it was a one-time script run or a recurring script run. Either way, you have to also specify the start time and the date. If it is a recurring job, you'd also have to specify how often it recurs with units of minutes, hours, or days. Okay. So if you happen to have any scheduled script jobs saved, then you can actually monitor their progress or their status by going scripts status. And this opens up a different dialog box and it will list out each of the different job names and the information about those script job status. The name, the script, the user, the status, and so on. And basically the same data from the previous form. All right, script and close. So that was it for tools scripts. Next, let's talk about tools script editor. So if I click tools script editor, here's the script editor. This editor may look familiar to you if you've already dealt with state variables or scripted release rules. What we have are a few different parts of the editor. I'll talk through it right now. Some of it's pretty straightforward though. For instance, the menus across the top, file, edit, and options. File is basically where we can manage the script files. We can create a new script file, open an existing file if there were any, import a script file, save as a new name, delete, print, test, and close. The test is also down here. There's a save and test. Here's a save button. It's all grayed out because I don't have any scripts actually created yet or selected. And if I did, I could just select that script, click edit, or I could select the script and then open/edit right here. The next menu item over is edit. Again, this is pretty self-explanatory. Undo, redo, cut, copy, and paste. These refer to the actual text. And then find text, find next text. And then the last three is copy and paste, but referring to scripts. So that would be for the available script tree over here. If I wanted to move or copy a script, I could select the script and then come up to cut script, and then it would be on my clipboard. I could select the other directory and then go ahead and paste the script that way to move a script around or copy paste. The next part of the script editor is the available script tree. That's what we're seeing here in the left column. And as you may recognize, it looks like a directory structure. Video 54 is right here in the structure. It's a directory and it says video 54. It represents the watershed because that's what I named the watershed. And then underneath that is the modules directory, which has 3 individual modules. The simulation is the module I have currently selected. And if, for instance, I wanted to create a script in this module, I could just right click and new script or import script. So there's some overlap in the functionality here in the available script tree as in the file menu up top. Okay. So this just makes it an easy way to manage and visualize what scripts we have and where they're located. Over here is the setup pane, and this is where we would specify certain data and settings and parameters for the script itself. If you just hover over the banner label, will tell you what everything is. The label that is displayed to the user. Next down, the location that the script resides on the disk. So this would be the file path. There's also a couple of checkboxes here to allow you, the user, to show the script in the script selector or display the script to the user. We can also specify an icon and arguments if your script takes arguments, as well as a description. So this is all pretty self-explanatory. And then down below here is the last part. This is the actual edit pane. This is where you would type out your script in Python or Jython. And it recognizes that Python code and will colorize the code accordingly, just like many of the major IDEs. All right, well, that's it for utility scripting. One last thing that the user manual mentions is that the scripts themselves are not saved in the watershed directory. They're saved in the user's AppData directory. So let me bring up that real quick. Okay, I'm on a Windows 11 operating system, so hopefully you're on Windows. And the app directory is going to be in your C drive. I'm in C drive here. And then it's going to be in users, and then select your username, and then go app data, roaming, and then HEC ResSim, the version, and then users, again, your username. And now you're going to see a list of watersheds that has already been created in HEC ResSim. So you'd select your watershed, and then this is where the utility script would be saved. I don't have any for this particular watershed. The reason I bring that up is the user's manual mentions that and suggests and recommends going to your watershed directory, which is where I am here in video 54. So this is the watershed directory with map, shared, study, and so on, and going ahead and actually creating a directory for your scripts. So you can call it scripts, you can call it utility scripts, and that would be where it recommends saving your scripts in the event you want to save your watershed and the utility scripts and port it over to somebody else. Maybe it's a different modeler who needs those files. The reason for that is they would have all the scripts in one place, and then that utility script that is saved in this utility script directory could be identified when they go to import. They could just right click, import the script. Then they can navigate to that watershed and the utility scripts directory, specify that script or scripts to import. And then after that, ResSim, I assume, would just save those utility scripts to that user's AppData folder for that user's profile. And ResSim runs the utility scripts from that AppData directory. The user's manual describes basically what I did there, and I think after doing it a couple times, it'll be pretty straightforward how that works. All right, well, that was it for this lesson and describing utility scripting in HEC ResSim.